Hi, it's Joanna Hunter here from joannahunter.com, and I am joined by one of my fabulous divine planners from the Divine Planning Abundant Profits Academy, Carol Lee. Come and say hi and tell people, Carol, what it is that you do in the world.
Hello, everybody. So, what do I do in the world? Well, I am predominantly an energy worker, if I actually drill it down. And the way I support people to create changes in their energy is around sugar freedom, and through the power of food to heal. So, food is your medicine.
I
And
love that.
yeah, so that's, and I use different energy tools. I'm a kinesiologist by training. I'm also a nutritional therapist. But yes, helping people change who they are in the world through giving up sugar and processed
Oh, I love that.
carbohydrates.
And you are part of this completely student-led summit called Women Lighting the Way. I'm so excited that a bunch of you in Divine Planning Abundant Profits have banded together to create this epicness and share your stories. Tell people what you are going to be talking about in the summit.
So what I'm going to be talking about is my talk is called From Sugar Obsessed to Sugar Freedom. So I will be telling my story of how I went from feeling completely pants in my everything, in my life, in my work, in my body, in myself, to actually changing all of that. And the little linchpin for me, that was taking sugar out of my diet. So I'm going to be sharing the story of that, the transformation, and some tips about how people can do the same.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. Now, Carol and I go way back because Carol was one of my first divine planners, right back when it was a teeny tiny little itty bitty 4-week course. So you have seen pretty much every evolution of Divine Planning Abundant Profits that we've ever had. And I've had the great pleasure to support Carol in her business for well over 4 years now, which is so cool. Like we're probably looking at 5 years in Divine Planning Abundant Profits now.
Probably.
Which is amazing. Tell us what, during that time, obviously you've been on a bit of a journey during that time with us. Tell us a little bit about that journey first, actually, because I think that might be really interesting for people to, your journey within the program.
Okay. So I think when I started Divine Planning Abundant Profits, to be honest, and you had pink hair then because it was a long time ago.
That's right.
And I was feeling quite lost. I was feeling quite lost in myself. And I knew I wanted to work online. I had all this energy inside myself that I wanted to express and support people with. But to be honest, at that point, when I joined, I didn't know how that would look. I knew food was important to me because that's my nutritional therapy background, and energy work, all that was part of it. And that's what attracted me to you, because you were solidly business, but solidly woo. So it's like I had to have those two bits together. Otherwise, I wouldn't have wanted, to be in the academy, really. So it's those two things together. And actually, it was you that got me started on my sugar-free journey, because I did one of your other courses, and I can't even remember what it was called.
It's called Get Selfish Journey.
Oh, was it?
Which is now, essence of that program is now in Unity Consciousness.
Right, okay. And I think what came out of doing that course had to do some questionnaire, and it made me realise that a lot of my issues with how I was feeling generally in my life was about how I felt with my body. And then that led me to changing how I eat. And I started then my own sugar-free journey. So then I felt that when I started that, I'd found my little pathway for work, because it just supported me so much to change my life. I thought, this is how I want to support people. And then I was already in Divine Planning Abundant Profits. So that then supported me then to set up a group. So originally I set up my group to support myself, my sugar-free journey group to support myself. and then it grew, and now we're up to 3,000 members or something like that. Maybe it's 2.5. I can't remember. I don't count. But it's a lot of people from, like, I had 5 friends in there to support me on my journey. And now it's become a hub to support other people. And
it
then
makes me so happy that, because that is really also like the elements and the teachings of Get Selfish, you know, like to do it for ourselves first, so that we really are the embodiment of the work. And that's, I think, one of the most magnetic things about your business now, is that you really walk your talk. Like, you are the embodiment of the sugar-free journey. You share your ups, you share your downs, you share the whole thing in such a real and, you know, honest way. And I think that's so magnetic to anyone who's considering that lifestyle. It's so fantastic.
Yeah, no. And I think what I love is I can, you know, it's not hard for me to work in my business, because my business is my life, if that makes sense. It's,
Yes.
you know, and, you know, on Instagram, I call myself sugar-free natural foodie, because, you know, it's a different way of approaching sugar freedom. It's not about adding artificial sweeteners in. It is purely about living that natural life, you know, gardening, hens. I love my hens. Or I tell you what, the pictures I put of my hens, and the integration of the 2 new hens into
We do love the chickens. We do love the chicken
people
post.
do, and it's like, okay, but it's like the whole thing. And I think that's what the divine planning abundant process, that structure that it gives about how to build it a step at a time, and what to add in, and how to do it. And then for me, the community is second to none. I mean, and the beautiful
Would
women.
you say that's your favorite part of the community?
Yeah, it is. It probably is overall, and it's always my go-to place if I need to ask a question, or I need a bit of a pep talk, or I need whatever I need, it's always in that community. And that's invaluable, really. And, you know, that's how I met Women Lighting the Way, other women, you know, and together we've created this amazing summit, which is
amazing.
like, wow. It's like, and it's interesting, because I think you put a celebratory post, didn't you, because you always do that on a Friday, and I put in there that I've been helping my sister who's just starting the route of entrepreneurship. And it really made me realise, flipping heck, I know a lot. Joanna's taught me a lot. You know, and it's just that step-by-step increments that you support us, you know, to do that. You know, we don't, you know, because I was saying, you're aiming, to my sister, I was saying, you know, you're thinking you're at level 10. You're not, you're at level 1/4. You know, stop thinking about that. You know, I said, it's taken me however many years to get to this point, you know, so don't just do it.
That's a big thing, actually. Let's rendezvous back to that, because that's such an important point. I think this is one of the things that Divine Planning Abundant Profits does so effortlessly, in a way, is really help us to compartmentalize what is important at your stage of business now. Because often when people come into the community, they're trying to figure out, like, marketing campaigns for business that's like 7 times the size of what they've got right now, and they're not really focused on the things that are important now, like the setup processes and setting up your processes and all those sort of things. And I think it's so stressful, isn't it, when you're thinking like, oh, I've got to figure out like the ads thing, I've got to figure this out, I've got to figure that out. And actually, no, let's focus on what's really important, what's actually going to grow your business right now. And I think so much effort and energy is wasted trying to, you know, do all the things, and we don't need to do all the things to be successful.
No, and I think that's what you're very good at, is you bring everybody back to where are you right now, what's your next step, and that's different to the next person's next step or the next person's next step. You know, and I think that's, I can feel the tension go then when I think, no, you know, and I'm building a business that actually I'm not aiming for 7 figures. That's not my goal. You know, my goal is to have enough money just to carry on living my nice life. You know, given that John's now retired, and you know what I mean? But it's like, so for me, a
And
lot.
that's the thing, everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's different, and I had to know that for me, successful is what I think is successful. It doesn't matter about anybody else, and you help us all to get to that successful place for us.
I love that. I love that, Carol. Thank you so much for joining us on this chat. We are going to link below how you can sign up for Women Lighting the Way Summit. I'm so excited for this. I hope that you're as excited as I am to hear all the speakers and Carol's amazing speech on going from basically not being sugar-free to really creating that sugar freedom. And I think it's beyond the freedom of sugar, right? Like, because it's also created a freedom life for you, that successful life that you're talking about as well. It's been the whole thing, and it's defining, I know in your community, you help women really define what their health looks like for them,
Mm,
you know?
mm, mm.
So thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you, Joanna, for everything you do for me and for all of us, because you've
Oh,
inspired
thank
us.
you.